Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. Today is a mini webinar on Medicaid Redetermination, which is kicking off April 1st, and this is being presented by our friends and colleagues at UnitedHealthOne and UnitedHealthcare. That's Evan Altman and Mitch Flowers. A little housekeeping. Your questions go in the box in the right. We'll get to those at the end of the presentation, right around 9:45, 9:50. And just dash through this. Eric and I are the dynamic duo of the individual market here in Ohio. If you got any questions about individual, give us a shout, and then you can also check out information on the Monday Minute that comes out to our brokers. And the Cornerstone Marketing Hub, from downloadable social media to customizable flyers. Our Marketing Hub is what you need to start managing your marketing in-house. You can access the Marketing Hub through Cornerstone Resource Center with your username and password, or you can reach out to Jess Larkin out on our website. Earn up to $7,000 with Cornerstone's cash incentive program, and these are for sales between January 1st and December 31st. Check it out on our website. There's a link to that. And I'm gonna toss things to Evan. Evan, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I gotcha.
All righty. Let's make you the presenter.
All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to pull this slide up, and then Geoff, do you guys have my full screen on this one?
I do. We do.
Excellent.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So main topic today is going to be the Medicaid redeterminations. We're going to keep it limited to Ohio for the time being. I know some of you all do business in some other states, but this information will be available to you. I know Geoff's got access to it as well. So if you do have any more specifics, certainly feel free to reach out to him, to myself, to Mitch. We'll all be happy to address whatever we can for you there. So just as a very quick kind of 30,000 foot overview, right? There was a public health emergency that is going to be ending on April 1st. Under that, there were a lot more folks who became eligible for Medicaid than who normally would have been. You may see different numbers out there if any of you have looked this up. Our estimates as of, I think, the end of January were about 89 million people currently enrolled in Medicaid, about 10 million of which are expected to lose it at the end of that public health emergency. Now, when that will actually be is sort of an open-ended question. It begins, like I said, on April 1st, but there's a 14-month period that states have to allow this to happen, right? To disenroll folks off of this. So we think there'll be about 10 million people. My understanding is that Ohio is going to be one of the early ones that's going to be taking place in May. So when it comes to our marketing strategy, you know, UnitedHealthcare is really putting this out on a pretty broad basis, right? We're going to go with direct response. We got email, we've got affiliate marketing going out, digital marketing going out. So we're really similar to how we handle things on the ACA side, right? We're hoping that the rising tide will lift all ships. We're letting people know about this. I do, since I've got Mitch and he's more of the UHC, kind of the ACA expert. Mitch, do you have any, and actually I'll bring this over to the next screen because I'm maybe if you want to speak to what's going to be available to everybody on Jarvis.
Yeah, thanks, Evan. So we are working with our marketing team right now and bringing on some Medicaid marketing items that will be available soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but we are working to get those cranked out. So you can kind of see some of the things we're working on. Some additional flyers for you guys, Facebook ads that will be fully customizable, different posters, and some checklists. All of this is just designed to really facilitate the conversation that you have with your clients and making the transition process as easy as possible. So we're really kind of trying to take the initiative on this and creating, getting out in the front and creating these marketing materials for you guys to take advantage of, which will be available very soon.
Yeah, and what I love about this, again, is this stuff is pre-approved, right? So you all don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, can I share this on Facebook? Can I put this out on social media, whatever? This stuff's already set for you. So you're able to customize that and use that to your advantage. And I think where this is really important, the reason why United wants to put so much out there, the reason why I think it's really smart for a lot of you, the latest update I saw, don't hold me to this because things are always shifting, is that I believe our Jarvis redeterminations page and everything is supposed to be up and approved and available to everyone today. I'm saying that a little tentatively because I know that that can change sometimes based on approvals and that sort of thing. So we're hoping definitely here in the next couple of days at least. But the reason this is so important though is that based on what we've seen out there is almost 2/3 of these people. So we're talking about maybe 6 or 7 million people who are impacted by this redetermination don't know anything about it. The education has been somewhat slim, and I would say if this were not something that was right in my face every day that we work on as a part of our business, I would not have known about it otherwise. I've not heard anything about this outside of what we do internally. So, the opportunity is there, if nothing else. And I think what's great about this, right? Anytime there's questions, anytime there's disruptions in the health industry like this, it gives you an opportunity, not just for these folks who are being redetermined on Medicaid, but it raises a lot of questions that you can answer for them. Maybe it's even on other lines of insurance. It gets people calling, it gets people emailing, that sort of thing. So I think that can work out really well. As far as Ohio in particular, and this is what I think you all might have a little bit of interest in. Again, we've got this laid out for every state. So if you wanted to look at this and see it, no matter what states we do, where we offer our ACA products, what we'll see here is this is just kind of our premium position by metal level. And so you can kind of look at where we're priced in terms of bronze and silver. But I think what's also interesting is if we look at this screen here, and these are our estimates based on, this is as of January 31st, right? So there could be some shifts in this from then to now, but these numbers are by county, the estimated Medicaid enrollment population. So this is not the number of people who will be redetermined. This is how many total people. But if we figure it's around 10 to 12% of these populations. So again, if you are targeting anything, if you're doing some Facebook ads and you're targeting it by area, this will give you an idea to do that. If you have any other kind of advertisement, if you're putting anything in the paper, whatever the case may be. I know that's a little old school at this point, but hey, we got to get this out there however we can. So anyway, they'll kind of give you a good idea of what is available out there. Before I hit on a couple of other little specific topics from the UH1 side, Mitch, were there some other things that you wanted to share in particular about this topic?
Yeah, if I could, and we can stay on this slide, but just the last slide. And I kind of talk about this on presentations that I do with Geoff, and for those on here, have heard it. If some hot areas to pay attention to, if you're looking to kind of capitalize on this, Youngstown, Sandusky, and Dayton are really areas that we're having the most success in when it comes to ACA plans. We're most price competitive there. We have the strongest network, along with some of the Cleveland counties as well. So if you're looking for counties to get into or really where to focus your energy, I would focus once again on those Youngstown counties. You can see the green there for our silver and our bronze. Youngstown, Sandusky, Dayton areas as well. And then Cleveland is pretty competitive as well. So that's all I wanted to add there. Thanks, Evan.
Awesome. Well, one other, I'm going to get out of this little part of the presentation. I'll bring up another screen here because there's some pretty cool stuff that we've got going on. Bring this back up and switch it over so we can see all this. As I had mentioned, so it's a little bit of a strange situation because typically we think of Medicaid as certainly being on the lower end of the income scale, right? But because of this public health emergency and the way this is all set up, a lot of people's situations have changed in that period. And so there actually are some folks who are included in this group who we believe will be kind of shifting toward the higher end in terms of the federal poverty level, and therefore may not be very eligible or very heavily eligible for subsidies, right? At that point, right? Hey, if they're subsidy eligible, and a lot of those folks too are going to be group health plans, things like that. So if these are folks who are subsidy eligible, who are able to jump on there and get an ACA plan with no underwriting, that's absolutely the best option for them, right? We want them going the ACA route. That makes the most sense. But for some of them, there's going to be a pretty significant disruption in terms of, first of all, loss of coverage, but then they're going to have to go out and find something that's, first of all, they're going to have to pay some premiums for it, and they're going to have to worry about how do I take care of my out-of-pocket expenses. And so I'm not going to go through, I'm not going to give you the spiel on all the products that we offer on the UH1 side, but I think this is going to open up a nice market opportunity for us both on the ACA side and for the underwritten medical side. And with either of those, there's an opportunity for some excellent ancillary add-ons, because again, these folks aren't used to having as much of that out-of-pocket exposure that's out there. So I don't want to let this be something where we're just trying to roll people into a plan, trying to get them as low a premium as possible, because even those folks who are getting a zero premium ACA plan are opened up to a world in which they've got a much larger potential exposure. So just kind of wanted to open you up to that. Makes sense there. Give you another little look. So if we look at kind of the country in general, we see on here sort of what the outreach start dates are basically. So this is kind of the order in which these states are going to begin. They call it the unwinding process, to where these folks are going to become available or eligible, I'm sorry, for a product other than Medicaid. Just kind of give you a little quick look there. Like I said, I believe Ohio is coming up here pretty shortly. While I've got everybody here, and really quickly, I want to bring this to your attention on the UH1 side. So we've got some new little developments that are coming along. Previously, as I'm sure those of you who have done business with us know, if you're going through a broker assisted application, the process is, I can fill that all out. I can take all their questions, get all that stuff done. But then when I get to the end, I have to send it off to my customer, right? For them to be able to complete their electronic signature and check the boxes. Yes, I understand this. And that can create a bit of an issue sometimes, right? Maybe they're driving at the time. Maybe they're just away from their computer. Maybe they're at a work computer. Maybe they're on a break or something like that and trying to take this, and they can't access it, whatever the case may be, right? Or hey, can I, let me check it when I get back home, right? A variety of reasons where we can't complete the close at that point. And anytime we do that, it opens up the potential for issues, right? And there's also user error. There's all kinds of times, I'm sure we've all experienced that, right? The email went to spam. Something didn't work quite right. They forget about it. It gets set on the side, and then it's out of sight, out of mind. So what we wanted to do was set up a process that creates as little disruption as possible, that allows you as an agent, as a producer, to go in here and complete the entire app, start to finish, on behalf of your customer. So you do not have to turn it over to them to complete that e-sign. We've got that stuff all knocked out. It's our security question signature process. This will be rolling out next Friday. So in about a week and a half, you'll have this access, right? So I go into your cart just like you normally would. You start that, and you'll have the choice, if you would prefer to maintain it just as you always have with the assisted application that you then send off via email or text, you can maintain that. Or you can choose to do the security question, right? The start of it looks exactly the same as it always has. You go through here, and then you read this series of questions. The applicant answers yes to everything. You continue, and then you'll be able to choose, right? We've all done these things before when we've signed up for a different product or service or that sort of thing, right? You log in and it asks you to create security questions. So you'll choose, hey, what's your security question? 1 and 2. There's a drop down that'll have some different things. I think it's a mother's maiden name, a street you grew up on, that sort of stuff. You put those answers in. You go to this next one. You're able to just read this through them here. You're certifying these things, right? I have read this stuff to them. I've presented all this. Boom, click here to sign, and we're done. So let me go back to that one for a moment. So anyway, easy, very clean, allows you to get everything done right there, again, without worrying that, okay, did they fill it out? Let me go back and check in my e-store. Have they gotten it done? What stage are they in? Call them back, go through those issues. So we're hopeful that this will create a more seamless process for us, allow some of that business to get closed a little bit quicker, and just with less pain points in there. Again, if you want to maintain the old process, you certainly can. So we're not pushing anybody into this, but you have the opportunity. The last thing I want to bring up, and this is going to be great for those of you who are working in maybe the under 65 and over 65 side, or maybe you're just on the over 65 side or just on the under 60. It doesn't matter. This is going to be one of these products. So our critical illness, right now it's being called critical guard. That's in parentheses because we're still kind of, we got a lot of plans named guard, right? So we're trying to maybe come up with something that's a little bit more unique, but we'll see. So this is a cancer, stroke, and critical illness, heart attack, critical illness plan. It's got a few little pieces to it. What's really cool is we can issue this up to age 90. Right, it's not gonna be 90 years old and buy this plan. It's actually got guaranteed issue options up to age 74 or under 74. So again, a guaranteed issue CI product for folks up to age 74. They can still get it at up to age 90. Benefit levels up to 100,000. The commissions thing, that's cool. Obviously not going to share any details on that. I don't even know what they are, even if I wanted to share them. So but that will be something I think that'll work out really well. But a little bit more innovative. This is going to have our Optum support services. We'll get some more details out to you on that. There's a maternity multiplier that if a woman is pregnant, is covered by this plan and has one of these issues, it'll pay out at 150% of the face value. There's a COVID benefit that pays out if you're hospitalized due to that. And there's some other little optional riders we can add on for wellness, prescription drugs, telemed, that sort of thing. So this is a really cool plan. And what I love about this, right, is not only that it goes across the different ages, so we can sell this to literally almost anyone you're doing business with. But I think this is an excellent opportunity for those of you who are doing ACA business, right? I talked about before, those folks are going to have a fairly large out-of-pocket exposure. That's something we want to be able to cover. And what are the things that generally are going to cause that to come up, right? It is going to be one of these major claims that comes in there. Heart attack, stroke, cancer. We don't like to think about those things. We don't like to talk about them all the time. But those are the kind of deals that can really cause someone, even if they've got great coverage, that can still put them in a really tough position financially because they don't have $5 or $8 or $10,000 just sitting around that they can cover those expenses with. So this stuff is awesome. And here's the nice thing about it. Here's what I love about this one, right? This money that they get paid from this, obviously a lot of it would end up going toward those health costs. But if they do have coverage, right, they don't need $100,000 to cover their health bills because their health plan has kicked in and covered it. But there's a lot of things that they're also going to need to pay for. It could be income replacement. It could be the costs of watching the kids or just buying groceries for the time that they're away and out of work. It could even be, I mean, heck, it's difficult to go through cancer treatment, to go through rehabilitation for heart attack, stroke, things like that. And if that happens to someone who's, let's say it's a mom or a dad, that's really tough on a family. It would be awesome to be able to go and take a vacation and a getaway once that stuff is cleared up. This money that they get from this, they can use it for anything. So they could even do something like that, and just something to kind of get away from things and reset and that sort of stuff. So great plan that we've got coming out here in Q3. Really excited about some of those other innovations, but I think with the combination of what UHC has got to offer on the ACA side, continuing to grow our footprint on that end, and then with the UH1 side, continuing to try to bring out innovative products that can help you across almost your entire customer base. We've got a little bit of everything for you. So I appreciate the time this morning. Fantastic. And just really thankful for the business you guys are doing.
Great. And thanks so much, Evan. We do have a few minutes for questions, and but I do need to drop off the call precisely at 9:55. So if you got any questions, put them in the question box to the right. And first question is, will you get a copy of these slides? Well, we will send everybody a copy of the presentation, and it's in a YouTube format. And it's simply going on to the link and opening up the YouTube video. You can scroll through the different slides that way. That's what I do. and you could even make screenshots. I know there was some important data there on the Medicaid county by county. And then next question, this is a very good question. I get this all the time. What is Jarvis? So Mitch or Evan, can you describe what Jarvis is?
Yeah, it's our portal, sales portal for, and it does cover actually the Medicare business as well, but for our intents and purposes, right, it is the ACA broker portal. So just like you'd have eStore for UnitedHealthOne, you've got Jarvis for your ACA business.
Okay, great. And then is that pretty easy to access? And if they don't know how to access that, what do they need to do?
Mitch, you're probably better with Jarvis than I am.
Yeah, so when you get appointed to sell, you will get a writing ID and you'll get your login information for Jarvis. So whenever you get appointed to sell, you would get an email from us with instructions on how to sign up for Jarvis. Like Evan said, it's really easy to get set up. It's basically a portal. You have access to your book of business. Also, there's marketing materials that we talked about that you'd have access to, provider links, everything to really manage your business with us. That's where it starts. And the quoting and roll tool is on there as well. So I kind of summarize like a one-stop shop for everything for your UHC business, especially on the ACA, Medicare, and UH1 side.
Okay, great. And if you're having issues accessing it, just reach out to me or to Mitch, and we'll
You
get
can
you up and running.
also reach out to producer help desk and
Okay.
get them to send you a reset link.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect.
And if you're not already appointed with us for the ACA business, well, then get with Geoff and let's get you set
Yeah,
up with that
let's
stuff,
get you
because
set up.
we definitely need to have you on that end of things.
Okay. Thanks, Gary.
Absolutely.
And just a couple final thoughts here. By all means, if you've got a quick question, throw it in the question box, but I just had a couple comments to make. This is incredibly, opportunistic, a great opportunity for agents. I almost treat it like a second open enrollment, considering the numbers
Yep.
of fresh, unsold clients out there. What is the estimate? 200,000 in Ohio.
Yep.
There might be, 80,000 Indiana, 80,000 in Kentucky, but it's a significant number. You saw county by county what the numbers were, but one of the challenges is getting a hold of these people, getting in front of them, and like Evan said, we think about, maybe half, maybe 2/3 aren't going to be aware because, truthfully, I mean, the communication's been pretty meager. But one thing, the feds are going to do, the federal government's going to, on their end, we're talking healthcare.gov, they're going to reach out to these people in written format and email. They're going to notify some of these disenrollees that they have an option, to go on the ACA, but they're also going to, they're going to say, go to healthcare.gov and go to find a local agent. Or they're going to say, go to healthcare.gov and use help on demand. And that's probably one of the great access points brokers will have. They need to be on that help on demand. They need to be on that find a local agent, so people can go there. Okay. And you can also, like Mitch was saying, you can do some targeted marketing, just some general marketing in those regions, particularly those hot areas, Dayton, Sandusky, and Youngstown, and maybe do some targeted ads through Google. That's just a final thought on my part. We've reached the breakoff point, and I want to thank Mitch and Evan for joining us today. Any final thoughts, guys?
No, just really, really, again, thankful for the time and for the businesses you all are doing, and looking forward to seeing how we can grow this whole thing together.
Fantastic.
Yep. Likewise. Thanks again, Geoff.
Thank you. Hey, everybody have a great day. Got to run.